I'm with it, 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 hey, hey, I'm with it, I'm with it, I'm with it, let's get it. You already know that I'm with it. We already know that she with it. You know that my squad, we gon' get it.
Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of I'm With It Sports. I'm Jalen Green. Alongside me is Jalen and Scooby. And today we have a very special guest. He is He's a two-time Arena Bowl champion, three-time first-team All-Arena, AFL Defensive Back of the Year. Everyone give it up for James Romain.
Hey, man.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all.
Hey, man.
You so special. You so special. We changed up the whole format of where we shoot for you. This is a special situation. Do you understand?
Like, oh man, y'all making me don't make me blush, man.
What I'm starting to realize though is I don't look as good in natural light as I do on stage light. So we're not gonna do this.
That stage height hit that stage.
Yeah, it was making me glisten a little bit. I was looking at me in the last episode like, okay, now we back to regular light.
Listen, don't thought he was gonna be
different.
I was reading Denzel Washington screenplays, thinking I was about to make the big jump. Y'all had me out thinking some things.
Listen, I'm about to mute you.
Already.
2 minutes, not even 2 minutes in, you already talking reckless.
Sure.
Look, I was talking fast.
Bro, James Romain, I gotta start off, man, if I can, if y'all don't mind, man.
Go ahead.
We've had an opportunity to kind of really get to know each other, and so I just kind of want to get your start. Where did football start for you? You know what I mean? Because we were in college together at Delaware State University. Shout out to Delaware State University, Hornets all day.
The greatest HBCU right there.
Absolutely.
Greatest.
Bar none.
None.
So where did football start for you? You know what I mean?
Grew up in Far Rockaway, New York, Queens. Actually, in my neighborhood, it's we got a day called Bayswater's Day. So I was 6, 7 years old. I was just walking through, saw a whole bunch of kids in football helmets and shoulder pads. I didn't really know what it was, and they was having races there. They was racing for trophies. So I was like, I'm pretty fast. I was playing baseball at the time, so I was good at stealing bases. So I was like, let me get on base. Ken Griffey Jr. was my favorite player, so I was like, let me get on the line and see if I'm faster than these kids. Got on the line, smoked the younger kids. So the coach saw me, so he put me with the older kids. Smoked the older kids. He said, "Hey man, you ever play some football?" I was like, "Football? What's that?" So I went home and I told my dad. I was like, "Yo, Dad, I want to play some football." So my dad was like, "You serious?" I was like, "Yeah, I want to play some football."
Every dad's dream, right?
I went out. He took me out. The next practice schedule, and I went out and I made the team. And from there, I've been starting running back since that day, playing Little League. And, I took my talents to elsewhere.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about high school. What was high school for you? You know what I mean? What was high school like for you? Were you like the man on campus, or was it some growing that you had to do in order to get to that level of collegiate football?
Well, when I first got to high school, I actually didn't start running back. There was a guy named Antoine Walker. He was actually my backup in Little League. And then he came into high school. He matured a little bit quicker than me. So he gained his speed, got a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, a little bit smarter. So his physique and everything just took over on the field. Certain plays that he was making as a running back that coaches wanted in high school, I couldn't make yet. I still had the Little League mentality. So I moved to wide receiver, sat there for a while. I did my thing because, I'm nice. And then I found the love for corner. My freshman year of high school. And once I found the love for corner, football opened up for me. I started to watch everything. From me watching corner, I learned how to play wide receiver better. From playing wide receiver, I learned how to understand running backs and offensive line schemes better. So, coaches wanted to move me up the end of my freshman year to varsity. I was a little bit nervous. I didn't do it. So the next year, one of my best friends, his name is Jamal Hill. It was time for us to, pick our jerseys for either go to JV or varsity.
Right.
So I went to go get my JV jersey and it wasn't sitting there. And then my best friend, he snatched my JV jersey and he had a varsity jersey for me. And I argued with him for about like 10 minutes, like, bro, I'm not playing varsity. I'm not ready yet. I didn't even get my feet wet on JV. I need to get my feet wet. He like, don't worry about it. You're good enough. Don't worry about what them coaches talking about down there. Come up. You're gonna play. We need somebody with talent to play corner. So I'm like, I fell in love with the corner position. Let me move up to varsity and get my shine, because varsity is where you get the letters and the scouts start looking at you and you start to get ranked across the country. So that started to kick into my mind. So I'm like, let me move up. Was probably like the best thing that happened in my career. Like I moved up my sophomore year in high school, started corner, started every game. The end of the year, I was tied for the league leader in interceptions with, I believe it was 7. So got a trophy at the end of the year. So my next year, same thing happened. I was tied I believe I finished second my junior year. But now I had shine on offense my junior year, playing receiver and running back. So didn't really get my men on campus until my senior year.
Okay.
Didn't want to play running back. So my coach, his name is Anthony Milley, my senior year. We started the season about 2-1. We lost a big game. And he pulled me in the office and he said, "Hey, James," so this how he is. He got his stick cup. So I need a cup. I need a cup. So anyway, he got a stick up. He's like, "Hey, listen, kid, you're a fucking stud." So I'm like, "Appreciate it, coach. Like, appreciate it." He like, "You're not hearing me, kid. You're a stud." So I'm like, "Okay, like I understand." He's like, I need to switch your position." So I'm like, "What do you mean? Like, I'm doing my thing at receiver right now. Like, I got to go to college and receive. I've been playing receiver the last 2-3 years."
Right.
He like, "You're the best kid in the school, man. I need you to play running back." I'm like, "No." He was like, "Yo, just listen. You're going to touch the ball at least 20 to 30 times a game instead of 5 to 6 of us throwing you the ball."
Right.
Light bulb.
Right.
Bing. All right, cool. I'm doing it. I'm about to put the team on my back.
Okay.
That's a big
So he put
difference.
the team on my back. And when we in New York, I believe we only played 9-10 games. So I started playing running back the 4th game of the season. I finished the season with like 998 or something like that, almost 1,000 yards. But I was small. Jesus. So, like my game wasn't ground and pound. I was more of a finesse guy. Okay. And I went to a small school. So we started off, when I first got to the school, a lot of people around the country know what, the 1As, 2As, 3As, 4As is, right? Yeah. 5As.
Right, yeah.
So in New York, it goes from a 1, 3 to a 5 in New York City. We started off a 1, and when I was my senior year, we was a 5. So we was playing against the best teams in the country. I mean, and the city, and we wasn't supposed to. We was a 1 school, really, but my coach, Anthony Milley, forced everybody to put the school into the 5 school. So we playing against kids that's going to Michigan State, Rutgers, West Virginia, Syracuse. Mm-hmm. So we played against some big linemen, some beefy linemen. I played against some linemen that was 310 pounds. That's
in high school, like, yo,
280, yeah. So my game was more of a finesse game, so coach tried to like not get me in between the tackles. But, I started, doing my push-ups during the season, and I tried to like finesse within it. But my game, I knew going into college was going to be either receiver or corner. Right. So after I finished high school, I left for junior college. I didn't get all of the recognition that I needed as far as, getting out there. I didn't get selected to all of the big all-star games. I did get selected to 1 game before I went to junior college. Got selected to play in this Boomer Esiason game. It's New York City versus Long Island. I didn't get selected to the game. It was a guy named Naeem Boateng. He committed to Florida. Didn't play his senior year. Went to Lincoln High School where Sebastian Telfair went. Also where Lance Stevenson went.
Yep, for sure.
So he went there, broke his ankle his senior year, didn't play, still committed to Florida. They still selected him to play in the game. So my coach, Anthony Milley, he did some stuff like the Remember the Titans. I swear I'll go to the papers. He went to the PSAL board. It was like, I'll go to the papers, man. I'm going to be up here every day with this kid highlight tape. He's the best kid in the city. He's the best kid in the city, best kid in the city, best kid in the city. So about a week or two before the first practice for the All-Star game, my coach got a letter mailed into the school. He called me down to the office. I was in class. He called me down. And he was like, hey, kid, look at this paper right here, kid. I'm reading the paper. And it says, I almost cried.
Right.
So a kid that didn't get selected in this game went to practice on the 4th string, destroyed everybody the first day. They moved me to 1st string.
For sure.
Moved me to 1st string because the coaches that I was playing for, that was coaching the All-Star team, didn't even know my name. I wasn't even on the roster at the time.
Oh, wow.
So after that first day, I said, they're going to remember my name.
For sure.
Right.
So starting, had a special play called Goal 99 for me. We got in the game. I had 4 catches, 160-something yards, almost took back a punt return, most valuable player of the game. And this is a kid that didn't get selected. I'm saying?
Right.
Sure.
So
inspiration right there.
Getting it out the mud right there.
Right.
yeah. So like Boomer, and this is Boomer Esiason's game.
Yeah.
Like Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Boomer Esiason, you know what I'm saying? So the announcers, it played on MSG. So the announcers on MSG is like saying everything like this kid James Romain, longtime coach for the Tottenville Pirates, said this kid James Romain, I didn't even know who he was, but this kid is amazing. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I went to junior college to play, wide receiver. I just coming off a fresh, dominating game, an all-star game. I killed the best guys in Long Island, guys that's going to big colleges. Y'all gotta let me play wide receiver, right?
Right.
So, but this is how God worked though. I get there, first day, I'll go to the offensive meeting. I get a playbook, the offensive playbook.
Right.
And I'm not on the wide receivers list. I'm on the defensive back list now. So I'm like, everywhere I go, they changing my position. Like, so I'm like, this is college now. And I'm not playing D-back. I don't have to play D-back. I get to play what I want now. Like,
Right.
That's what you think, right?
I get to.
Really?
I ain't know. I thought I could say the same thing back in my day.
This is what I'm thinking. Like this is me young. I'm
That's
not really
definitely
educated.
18.
I'm like,
That's definitely 18 right there.
to play what I want. So I'm like, I came here to play this.
Right.
And this is what I want to go play. I want to be a star. I want the ball, and I want to be. You know what I'm saying? So, wanted to go to Ohio State was my school. I wanted to go Ohio State.
Right.
I wanted to play. Chris Gamble was my guy. I wanted to be Chris Gamble. I wanted to be the Ted Ginn or whoever. Like, that's who I wanted to be.
For sure.
Man.
For sure.
So I go get a playbook. Go home. I get a call to be at the office early the next day. So go to the office early. Coach sit me down. He's talking to me and is like, I like my players to be disciplined and follow instructions. And I'm like, okay, that's me.
Right.
Like I got the playbook. I was looking at my playbook last night. I'm ready to go.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. I didn't recruit you for wide receiver. Like, I need you to play defensive back. I don't want to play defensive back. But you're gonna play defensive back.
That means you don't want to play.
So now my tone, like now he's like, you're going to. So I'm like, how do I answer that? Like, do I say I'm not playing defensive back?
Right.
So
life altering decision here.
Right.
Pull back.
So now I'm stuck in a dilemma. So I'm like, but like I don't like I want like I'm good with the ball in my hand. He said, listen, man, I recruited guys to put the ball in their hands, and they're gonna play that position. So it's either you're gonna play defensive back or you're not gonna play for the school at all. I said, wow.
It's that cutthroat, man. That's not a surprise. It's cutthroat out here.
I said, wow. So I said, okay. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play defensive back. And we get in practice. The whole practice is gonna be crazy. It's y'all ain't gonna get a pass off. Y'all throw it over here, it's gonna get picked off. I promise you. And when we do one-on-ones, I'm strapping everybody up. Nobody gonna get open. I'm gonna have your quarterbacks thinking they can't throw the football. Right. So when we get in the game, they ain't gonna have no confidence because they ain't throwing it on me. And everybody that's gonna be in my secondary gonna have the same confidence as me. This is what you want? I got you. I went in there. I had to go home for a second. Missed like 2 days of practice. Everybody ran their 40s. Came back fresh off the mega bus, the cheap bus, the $10 bus from New York.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
$10 bus. And I was broke at the time.
For sure.
I was dead broke, like nothing. $10 bus. Fresh off there. 4-4 off the bus. No stretching, no nothing. Ran 4-4. Afterwards, one-on-ones, strapped everybody up. The whole year, we went through practice, strapped everybody up. Finished the season with 7 interceptions. I'm getting letters from everywhere. Preseason come. Preseason All-American. James Romain is one of the best defensive backs in the country for junior colleges.
Look at God.
I'm like, oh.
God.
Right.
So defense. I fell in love with defensive back in high school. I'm saying I fell in love with it, so I didn't want to play it. Right. But I was like, nah, that's the position you need to play.
Good coaching right there. See, because at 18, we all think we know, especially athletes. Athletes wired different. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You put in all this work. You for sure know what's best for you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You have a coach that's gonna look at you and say, no, that's not what's best for you. What's best for you is this. And that right there, though, shows a lot about your character because I know a lot of dudes, and I'm not even going to say I'm strong enough myself because I had my own adversities playing college sports.
Absolutely.
That mental of you saying, no, I'm this, and them saying, no, you this, for you to be able to flip it and be like, all right, cool, I'm going to show you I'm the best there is, period. It's something not a lot of cats can do. Guys are like, whoa, what do you mean? Like, that messes with your mental. And you know, in sports, if you don't got it mentally, physically don't matter. You done. So for you to be able to flip that, that's huge. That's huge.
Yeah, and now that you think of it, my mental was real strong back then. Because the way I felt, like, I didn't feel like I wanted to leave. I didn't get under pressure. It was more of me, I'm going to get as good as I can at this position to show him why he should have put me here in the first place.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
If you look at college sports now, they don't do that. Tell a kid at 18 nowadays, no, we want you as this. When they thought they were this, transfer portal.
They're gonna
next
transfer.
day, they're not even on campus. They grab their bags, they back home. They don't even know what that school looks like. So for you to have that mental to be like, all right, cool, that's what you think, and to stick that out. That's a lost art, man. That's a lost art.
Yeah, so you know that best thing I did in my life, changed my position, went JUCO All-American my first year, 7 interceptions, two touchdowns, punt return to the crib. Came in the next year, real cocky.
Right.
Real cocky, like, and this
as you should be.
Right. All-American, bro.
Yeah, and this is something that if I could take it back, I would. Like this is probably like the only thing of my football career that I would take back is my sophomore year. I came into the season cocky. I came into the off-season workouts cocky. I didn't really want to work out like that. I was getting letters from all these schools. I was going to junior college combines. I was killing combines. I was talking to coaches. Coaches was coming to visit other people. And while they visiting other players, they're popping in my highlight tape like, can you get this kid to sign with you too? So I knew everybody in the country knew who I was. But I couldn't accept that type of, I wasn't used to that type of attention at the time, that type of notoriety. And at that time, it was like, yo, I'm the man. Can't nobody tell me nothing.
I was on his booby
so once that happened, I moved on to a coach. It was a new coach, and I got a soft offer from Michigan. I wanted to go Ohio State. They didn't offer me, so I was like, I'm gonna go to Michigan. All I gotta do is all I need is a 2.3 this semester, and I get to go to Michigan. Right. I had a 3.1 already, so I was like, I'm cool. I don't even gotta go to class. So now I'm thinking like I'm some type of, like, and I stopped going to class, still playing, and then the worst thing happens. I get kicked off the team for a fight. Was before the fight happens, somebody on the field, this is during the game, trying to get everything together. We was on the game. We playing against, I believe it was Erie. Playing against Erie. I'm on the field getting a punt return. We losing badly. And I see one of my roommates that I was living with at JUCO running in the stands after somebody that's not playing on the team. He's running after him. I come over, he's like, such and such and such spit in my face. So I'm like, wow, from the stands? I'm like, wow, okay, cool. Game over. The next day, coach called me, my roommates, the dude who did it, and a couple of his people and says, you're suspended for 1 game. And I'm like, why am I suspended? Guilty by association. I think you're going to retaliate. I just want to discipline the whole squad. Why? Because y'all so tight. Okay, cool. So now I'm upset about that. So now we all suspended. We just so happen to see each other on the streets because we suspended on a night, and it's a big fight that breaks out between the two groups. Everybody gets suspended. Now I'm kicked off the team. I lost all my scholarships. I stopped going to class. I got depressed. I get kicked out of junior college. So I end up transferring to another junior college just to graduate. So I graduate from there. The season is about to start for my junior year. Right before I went to Del State, I have no scholarships. One of my best friends, his name is Reginald Johnson. He committed to Delaware State. He decommitted from Delaware State because he had a scholarship to Winston-Salem. He called me, said, yo, bro, you don't got no scholarship shit? I said, bro, I don't got nothing. He said, yo, bro, you was an All-American. I'm like, yo, bro, nothing. He said, yo, bro, tomorrow I'm decommitting from Delaware State because it's closer to you, and I'm going to just go to Winston-Salem. So that's how I got my scholarship.
Crazy.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy.
Dude.
So he committed and went to Winston-Salem to open up that spot for you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think like the gems that are being dropped right now. I can't. I literally can't wait because like this story is so crazy. Because now that I've gotten somewhat of the backstory, and we'll get to Del State, but now we've gotten the backstory. Like the story at the end that I know you from is so much more amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like yo, to know that you went through this much. Yikes. Okay, go ahead, man. Because I'm like, man.
You know what this showed me though? Like. Sports, we always look at these people on TV, we look at them at the game, and we think, oh man, this is such and such is just great. Everything gonna work out. But the amount that has to go right in order to make, I mean, that's not just for like sports, but it's even more magnified in sports because just like that, you went from soft commit to Michigan, and in your mind, at 18, 19-year-old, we all think the same. Yo, a soft commit to 18, 19-year-old is a hard commit. I'm sure. Oh, I'm good. I'm ready. I'm Gucci. But then that soft commit don't mean nothing to to Michigan. That was just a nice little soft commit. And now you have your whole life turned upside down, and it just shows the talent is always needed. Like everybody who plays a college sport is talented to some degree. Like I hate to
Yeah.
bum, and I'm gonna ask you a question about that later. I hate when we like refer to players as bums because these dudes ain't bums. Like I don't matter.
Yeah.
So they love to call him a bum. But the show, like right there, your story just shows, man, it's a you threading a needle. Talent is one thing, but you threading a needle just to hope everything else mentally in our lives in general goes right for you to get to where you are. And it damn sure takes a little bit of luck too. Like we
Yeah,
all,
man.
I mean,
Luck.
go ahead, bro.
Yeah, luck was on my side. You know, like I went from, you know, like almost going to Michigan and all of that to not even having a scholarship. Like all these schools was offering me, showing interest, and I didn't get one of them. You know, I thought my dream was about to come true, and then, you know, my friend was like an angel from God. I swear. Like when I got that call and he said, "Yo, bro, I decommitted. I'm gonna decommit tomorrow. I'm gonna tell a coach to call you." The coach called me, and when he called me, his name is Coach Braxton. I love Coach Braxton to death.
Shout out to Coach Braxton, man.
You know, yeah, Coach Braxton, my guy, man. Like, so Coach Braxton called me, and he was so excited. He was like, you know, James Romain, like, I'm so humble just to speak to him. Like, he's more excited to speak to me. He's like, yo, man, I would never thought we would, like, ever talk to you, like, ever. Like, this is like, we're about to get, like, a steal. Like, I'm like, you know, life just puts you in certain places for a reason, you know, because if I wouldn't have went there, I wouldn't have known Scoob, I wouldn't have known Hurst, and I wouldn't be on the Zoom call right now. Exactly. You feel me? So, you know, I'll end up going to Dell State, HBCU, the best HBCU on the planet.
Let's shout that out one more time. Like Dell State, like Delaware State University is literally the best HBCU. I don't care what nobody else has to say. If they could experience what we experienced on that campus, Brody.
Yo, man, Dell State was it was so beautiful. It helped me to understand a lot about life alone, just from the different cultures that was there. I bounced off ideas. I saw how other people lived. I knew that it was bigger than just how I grew up in Far Rockaway.
For sure.
I saw people who grew up just like me, who was a little bit more advanced in life as far as politics, how to financially take care of your bills at that age, how to go party and wake up and go to class at 8 o'clock and still get A's.
Sure.
Like just meeting these type of people helped me to understand, like, yo, he gonna be successful in the real world. He don't need sports. He don't need none of that. Like, I gotta find my niche. I gotta find something just in case this don't pan out. Just meeting other people from different cultures, you know, like being on a Black campus, you still see people from Australia, you know, you still see people from China out there. And these is exchange students who's doing something that's, you're like, what are you doing? Biotech. Where your classes at? Back there. Oh, that's what that building. You won't even know what the building is on campus.
You don't even know what it's called.
Never stepped foot in that job.
Y'all probably still don't know what it's called.
You know, like,
it's called the Not For You building.
Right. Right.
Like, you know, like I cut through that building just to go to a class. Like, that's the shortcut building. Yo, do you know that little building right there? Cut through that building.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Sure. But it was just beautiful. So, you know, I had the chance to meet, you know, this is my guy. This is my brother. Right. This is my brother. My brother Tyron Hurst.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's my brother. Nice. Me and Hurst been through a lot. You know, had a good, decent career at Delaware State. We both had a decent career. Didn't graduate on time. So, you know, I had to leave campus because my scholarship was up. So after I left campus, I quit football. Football was done. Didn't do anything for about, I say, 2 years. Didn't do anything for 2 years. I was at home. I was literally a bum. Like, I was a bum. I was staying on my mom's couch.
Wow.
I didn't have a job. I was living off people. Trying to live off, you know, trying to just, you know, so
during this time though, in your mind, were you missing the game? Like, were you missing the game? Were you eager to get back, or was it just in your mind at this time during this period, it was just done?
It was just done for me. Like, I literally quit. Like, I quit. I said, I'm done. And my pop was so mad. My pop was so mad. My mom was like, well, you got 1 degree. Go get a job. Go find a job. I'm like, Mom, I'm not working right now. Like, I'm going to find something else. I'm going to use one of my talents.
Yeah.
So my dad, like, you need to get up off the couch, go hit that sand, go run and go hit one of these tryouts. You need to go do that. You know? So I'm like, Dad, I'm done playing football. So my other brother, named Emmanuel Green, call him E, started playing semi-pro in Far Rockaway. Started playing semi-pro, and he started playing corner. So he's like, hey, bro, this is like high school, man. Remember we used to play corner together. Come out and play, bro. Yo, bro, it's just fun, bro. You ain't doing nothing else. So I'm like, all right, I'll go out. Played the last 5-6 games of the season for them. We won a championship. I got a little spark back. I'm like, yo, this is cool. Got some picks. I'm like, yo, this is cool. Semi-pro, all right. I'll play.
Right.
I'm like, nah, they got to start paying me or something. $150. They got to do something. $100 a week. Something. This ain't,
Right.
my talent too good. So, month go by. Big Hurst called me. I ain't speak to Hurst in like 3-4 months.
Wow.
So Hurst like, yo, bro. He like, yo, what you doing, bro? I'm like, I'm good. He like, yo, geez, you trying to play some football? So I'm like, I'm already playing semi-pro, bro. Like, he like, I'm not about to play no. I'm like, yo, I'm not about to come out to Delaware and play those semi-pro. He like, nah, geez, I just signed to this IFL team, this indoor football team. I said, what?
Right.
I said, that's professional? He said, yeah, bro, it's pro. Like, you got the chance to get to the league and all that. So I said, what's arena? He said, like the small field. I said, oh, I know what you're talking about. So he like, you want to play? He was like, the coach said I need a corner. He was like, yo, the nicest corner I've ever seen play the game in person was you. I was like, tell him to send that contract, man. Tell him to send that. Tell him to send that contract.
For sure.
So, sent that contract, signed the contract up. It came through. The team says Fairbanks Grizzlies. All right, Fairbanks Grizzlies. All right, cool. The colors look cool. I Googled it. I'm looking at the team. It's cool. So I'm like, my mom was like, where's Fairbanks? So my dad
Alaska.
That's Alaska. My dad was in the military. So my dad like, that's Alaska. My mom was like, oh, Jesus.
Hey, they said they wanted you off the couch.
Right. Hey, you got the furthest away from the couch.
You dang sure not gonna be on the couch at that point. Like,
Right.
You can't physically be on the couch.
That's crazy.
So look,
and joints. Nah.
My mom was so nervous. So I took the flight to Alaska. I was so nervous. I took the flight to Alaska. I get out there, it's dark. Most of the day is dark out there. I landed like 9:00 at night, 10:00. So I'm thinking, it's dark. So get out there my first day. I see this huge moose. Biggest animal I've seen in my life. I knew I was in foreign land. I knew it was some different, So yeah, Rocky and Bullwinkle. I seen
Right.
For sure.
So go to the hotel. I see Hearst, everybody, greeting them. Now I'm in Alaska. It's freezing out there. We wake up the next morning. We got to go take physicals and stuff the next day. We wake up at 8-9 o'clock. It's still dark outside. So I'm like, yo, I'm thinking my watch still on East Coast time.
Right.
Check my phone. Go check the clocks in the hotel. I'm like, oh, what's going on here? They like, yeah, it's, I think it's called daylight something. But it was like 16, 17 hours of daylight. So we done with Alaska. I put my highlight tape up on YouTube. I just said, I'm going to just let everything go. I signed to Green Bay. We do a year in Green Bay. After we do a year in Green Bay, I post my highlight tape again. I get a call from Philly. Coach from Philly called, said, I seen your highlight tape. I want you to go there. So my career in Philly started. I had to sit the back seat for 2 seasons. Still started. Missed 1 game starting without injury. From 2015 to 2019, I was the best guy in my position. Last year, 2019, I won Defensive Player of the Year. From 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, all arena selection. Philadelphia Souls, all-time leading interception leader, all-time leading defensive back scoring touchdown leader. What else can I name? Not many guys can say they've stepped on an arena football field since I've walked in from the day Coach Dozell called me up. Have done what I've done. Respect to all the guys that's played the game, but I just played the game at a different level. My mindset was different. In a game where you give up the ball and you give up points, I took points off the board.
Yeah,
so
let's talk about that part right there. For those who aren't familiar with arena football, it's real high scoring. So for you to be excelling on a defensive side of the football in arena league, which is designed to score points, it's not designed for us to. We don't want field goals in arena league. We don't want punts. We want straight up touchdowns in arena football.
Yeah.
So for you to tell me that for that long of a stretch, you were that dominant on the defensive side of the ball, I don't think people understand just how much more impressive that is. Sure. You know what I'm saying? That's like going to a gunfight with a knife and you win. Like you're not supposed to win.
Pull us up, though.
Right.
Yeah. So those that don't understand the arena game, you have a guy running at the line of scrimmage full speed, a wide receiver. So from the year 2015 to 2019, I was the guy that was covering that receiver every play. So the chances of me getting scored on was very high. So I took the chances of it being an 80 to an 85-15 chance of scoring to a 50-50. It's a chance that this guy might pick the ball off, or there's a chance we might score. I don't know. So I eliminated a lot of throws to the motion receiver, and that's the guy you're supposed to throw it to. So throughout my career, it's like when you play the Philadelphia Soul, you can't just throw at James Romain at the motion. You got to throw it to the standstill guys, the other guys. And I still had a dominant core around me. That's why we won the championships and we was, so dominant all them years. So when you're in arena football and you get a defensive back that can eliminate the motion receiver, then you want to try to keep that guy around no matter what. You want to mold that guy and you want to keep him, especially if he's young.
See, and I think what you're saying right now perfectly is indicative in the NFL as well today. If we've noticed in the past couple of years, the cornerback market has exploded in just what guys are getting paid to shut down these receivers, right? Like Stephon Gilmore's out here. The top DBs of the league are commanding top money now.
Yes.
Before DBs were man, you getting paid like a tight end almost. You know what I'm saying? You weren't getting paid, but it started in Arena Football League before it has ballooned to the level it has in the NFL. The Arena Football League is a passing league, right? And now in the NFL, we can all sit here and agree and say, it's good. Running teams winning the playoffs, but we talking regular season, it's a passing league, right?
Yeah.
So now you're in a position, you've played a position that is so you're not designed to win at all. There's no part of playing DB that is designed for you to succeed. Besides the fact that you can jam a guy And some dudes are unjammable. Like we talk about a Julio. You
You're
look,
not
man.
jamming him. Right. He's not
DK Metcalf.
DK Metcalf, physical
Like,
specimen.
You
You're
got
not jamming him.
Yeah, dude,
DeAndre Hopkins. You got guys
Yeah.
like that too, man.
you're not jamming them. So you don't have an advantage going into that. And for you to be able to say in your league, you were able to shut these guys to the point where it's a 50-50 on if they're going to succeed in a league that definitely was not set up for that, shows a lot about what you were able to do, which actually leads us into our next question. You want to ask it? Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually about to piggyback off that. So I was about to say, after hearing all your experience and stuff like that, like what, as a defensive back, like what type of quarterback did you least like going against, or why, or like what kind of schemes did you hate going against? You know,
I hated I hated quarterbacks that held the ball. Like I love quarterbacks who went through their progressions. They knew what they could look at the defense and be like, okay, they're in cover 3, they're in cover 4, they're in cover 1. 1, 2, 3, 3-step. I know I got to throw the ball here. 5-step, I'm letting the ball go. I hate the quarterbacks that hold the ball, look around, and scramble back and forth. Because I'm a guy that's reading all of that 3-step, 5-step, because I want to break on the ball. You know, so I hated the quarterbacks that moved around and, you know, want to look guys off and stuff like. I hated those quarterbacks, man. I hated those guys.
If I tell you right now, your answer could not have better perfectly set us up for our segue. So this is going to lead us to our first topic of the show, what we call What's Going On. So that's when we just talk about some stuff that's been going on in sports in the past week, and we highlight it. And this week, everybody has heard and talked and saw Kyler Murray and Tua Tagovailoa played on Sunday. And when we talk about a quarterback who's not on script, we talking about Kyler Murray, right? And what we saw, first off, before we get into any questions about it, I just want to break down what we saw. Like we saw a guy in Tua who after his first game, which is ridiculous to think about, right? But after his first game, you have reporters coming out and saying, oh, the team might look to move on from him next year. Mind you, he was the 5th pick in the draft, right? Or the team might look to move on from him next year. Oh, he's a bust. We're not seeing what we saw at Alabama. Like we had that coming off his first game. So Tua's coming in, all the pressure in the world, right? And for him to be able to go toe to toe with a guy who I had rightfully so, Scoop, rightfully so in my top 5 last week. I just want to throw that out there. You know, y'all saw that clip. Y'all saw the clip.
Here we go.
Y'all saw the clip. Okay. No, all was correct. Had Kyler Murray as a top 5 quarterback in the league right now, who, if you watch the game, Kyler Murray made a really, really, really good Miami Dolphins defense look pretty bad. Like he did it with his arm, he did it with his leg, and they did it. Thankfully for me, because I went against DeAndre Hopkins in fantasy this week, they did it this week without featuring DeAndre Hopkins. He had 0 targets, not completions, 0 targets in the first half, and they were dominating. And then Tua stepped up big in the second half and matched him. So I just want to hear, you know, what you guys thought from, first off, all the hype going into the game with Tua, and then to see the performances we saw, what you guys took from that.
I mean, if y'all don't mind me starting first, what I saw was just, it was a breath of fresh air knowing where the league is going if these 2 young quarterbacks continue to play. I mean, you got to think Tua went, 20 for 28, which is a crazy high completion rate, and he had 2 touchdowns. And then I think Murray went 21 for 26 and 3 touchdowns, and both of them threw no interceptions. Right. And the best part was
Kyler had that fumble.
Yeah, he did. But at the same time, when you watch that game, you watch 2 young quarterbacks really battle and look like they actually put the teams on their back. And to me, that was huge because, you know, I feel like it's easy just for a young player in general. If you're coming into the NFL, if you mess up, make a mistake or whatever, you can be down. But for the game to be so close and for both quarterbacks to keep their composure through the whole game, and it was a great game. Like, that was one of the slept-on games to me, I think, that happened on this past Sunday that no one's really talking about as much as they should. So I think it was just a good moment for football to me to see that happen, especially where, like Tone said, where Tua came from, like his journey and stuff like that. with Kyler Murray, them saying he's too small again. You know,
Baseball player.
Yeah, he could have played baseball instead of football, but he chose football. People say he was crazy for doing that, for leaving that money on the table, and now he looks like a football player.
But he's going to get paid.
Yeah,
he's earned that right. I think for me, man, the thing that really stuck out to me, first of all, I'm a Bama fan, so watching Tua do this is me. Oh yeah, I'm definitely a Bama fan.
That face though.
Definitely been a Bama fan for a while, and it's only because my roommate that I had was a Bama fan, so it was kind of like I got indoctrinated as a Bama fan. So, I mean, his parents literally went to Alabama. You know what I mean? So it was like it was Bama everything in the crib. Like it was just like we watched Bama every Saturday. It was just like, all right, Bama. I grew up a Miami fan though. I was a big Willis McGahee fan. You know what I'm saying? But you know, over time, yeah, that 2001 national championship. Still watching that play when he got his. Hoo-wee. But watching Tua, it was again like Jalen said, a breath of fresh air. I think it reminded me of those old shootouts. I saw a little bit of Russell Wilson versus Aaron Rodgers or Russ versus Drew Brees. Like that's the type of vibe that game gave me. It was really exciting to watch. You got to watch like you said, the future of the league, and just what quarterbacks have evolved to at this point. Looking at the top quarterbacks, the pendulum has shifted a little bit to where we were always saying, and I don't want to get into a racial thing, but white quarterbacks were kind of always the thing. But now if you look at the top of the food chain of quarterbacks in the league, like it's starting to get really diversified. And I think that speaks to the evolution of the position, because the running back aspect, the moving aspect of the quarterback position versus the 3, 5, 7-step drop back quarterback that we were used to seeing in football, and that was effective. I think again it just speaks to the evolution of the game, and I think it makes the game that much more exciting. Like Antonio said, the passing is regular season and running usually wins, but we've seen passing teams. I mean, look at the Chiefs last year. Chiefs were a passing team. You know what I mean? That won that Super Bowl. Brady, even though he dinked and dunked, that was a passing team. You know what I mean? For the most part, you know what I mean? Like they were ground heavy, but a lot of short passes, a lot of getting the ball out quick. So this is a passing league, bar none. You know what I mean? And so I really think that it just gave like just where the league is going. I got excited because I watched good football. You know what I mean? Like the defense wasn't giving up. It was just you had a quarterback that was so good that it's hard to play defense against somebody so good that's literally picking you apart. You know what I mean? So,
now, as we talk about this, I'm about to, me. Sometimes I gotta put a little water on this excitement right now. Look, I was, just to give y'all a little behind the scenes, right? In the pre-production, I was the one pushing for this as a topic, right?
Sure.
Now,
he was.
I'm gonna put a little water on what I saw.
Okay.
What I saw. Okay, so I'm not big on trends as a athlete in general, right? I believe certain things win in certain sports. Like I was not a big Derrick Rose or Russell Westbrook fan because I believe league guards who were great athletes but couldn't shoot weren't going to age well, right?
And they haven't.
I watched this game and I saw how great Kyler was early, right? And he was dominant. Yeah. And then I watched that last drive on 3rd and 1.
Yeah.
Exhausted. Misses there's no pass in the NFL that's a gimme, right? No pass in the NFL is a gimme. Hard to throw the football. But it's a sprint out.
Yeah.
And he missed Christian Kirk badly. And looking back at it, when your kicker then goes on and miss the game tying field goal, he lost the game off of that. Now, as I put Kyler Murray in my top 5 last week, I'm a Kyler fan, but is that style sustainable enough for 4 quarters each game to win? Because when you look at Russell Wilson, we can all call him a magician, right? And he fits exactly what you said you hated in a quarterback. He's going to go through his reads. He's a magic man in the pocket, but he's a pocket passer,
for sure.
Right? And when you look at the league right now, you have Cam, who was a dominant in 2015, MVP, great athlete, start to break down. You look at Lamar coming off his MVP season. We're not talking about this in depth this week, but just called out his offensive coordinator
Man.
a year after winning an MVP because Lamar's not passing nearly to the level he should be, right? I can even take it a step to my guy Carson Wentz in Philly, who, although white, is still an athletic quarterback who was a magician. Was a magician, but coming off that ACL, they asked him to change his game, and we can see it's not necessarily working, right? So, and especially with a guy like Kyler's so small.
Yeah.
He's so small. Luckily, he's been great at avoiding the hits, but everybody knows in a game of football, it just takes one.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott just took one, right? So I look at it and I put a little water on what I saw, and I say, I came out a little bit more excited about Tua than Kyler because Tua reminded me of Drew Brees. Tua with 3 steps. I can read it. I'm going to put it on the back shoulder because he's collapsing to the front. Like Tua was just doing things and putting balls in places where it's like, that's how you win.
So here's my question to you, because we kind of saw that a little bit at Alabama, but obviously you knew before the injury, he was moving a lot more. Do y'all think this injury kind of helped him a little bit to be even more of a pocket passer? And do you think that will eventually extend his career or what?
I mean, since Alabama, we knew he could throw the ball.
Right? Yeah.
We knew he could throw the ball. You know, he's a lefty, though. Right. So, you know, the lefties, they got a little bit of a different sling. You know, the ball comes out different, and it's harder to catch. But, you know, he's young. He's fresh in the league, so we just got to give him some time. You know, I'm not too big on judging rookie quarterbacks on their first year because you don't have no film on them. They can have a lights out season, and the next year you know exactly who this guy is, and then it's going to be a little bit tougher for that guy the next year. But with Kyler Murray, you know, we seen what he could do his first year. He had a pretty decent season for a rookie. Lights out to me. You know, he played pretty well. You know, now teams have a little bit of film on him. So, you know, they can adjust a little bit as far as him scrambling around, running around. But when Kyler Murray is back there, he kind of reminds me of a young Russell Wilson, though. He reminds me just of Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson first came in the league. To me, he kind of changed the game. Him, Cam, those guys kind of changed the game. The play actions, the rollouts, the sprint outs, the read dives, the RPOs, all that stuff. And when it comes down to facilitating the game, Russell Wilson, like I said, kind of reminds me of a Kyler Murray when he was younger. I could throw the ball. I could maneuver within the pocket. I'm short, but I could still see and, you know, go through my progressions and my reads, and I could still make throws. You know, young quarterbacks are always going to make mistakes, you know, because they're not polished to the game. You know, the speed is a little bit different from the collegiate level. So when it comes down to that, got to let them go through their times, let them go through their bumps and bruises. It's young. It's rare that you get a young guy coming in like a Pat Mahomes to come in and dominate the way he did. That guy he's different. You know, once in a blue moon, you get them guys that come around that's just different. Like, yeah, he can sling the pill. He needs to be starting. He's going to go to the Hall of Fame, and you can see it. Like Pat Mahomes' career is on a skyrocket right now. But when you get them young guys that can, that's like I call them slash quarterbacks that have the running ability and the passing ability. Yeah, you know, so with them guys, those playbooks aren't molded around them guys. So you got to go home at night and you got to draw up plays just for this guy. You got to sit there and pick his mind. Like, what plays do you like? Is this a play that you feel you can read this week and go through your progressions? No, coach, I don't like that. And a lot of coaches now are stubborn. They don't want to change the playbook and they want to keep this play for this type guy. And he doesn't even want to run these plays.
I have those arguments every Sunday when I watch certain teams play. I'm not going to say no names, but I've been having that feeling of a lot of coaches today are not designing their offense to best suit their talent. And that's the difference between great coaching and bad coaching, right? Like bad coaches are, this is my system. We're just going to run my system. In my opinion, great coaches are the ones who say, this is my talent. Now let me go design a system around my talent. Like Baltimore did that. Because you got to remember, Joe Flacco started what 60% of Lamar's rookie year, and then they completely were able to switch that up and then put in a whole new system that fit Lamar, because Lamar's no Joe Flacco ever. Like, that's just not the type of player he is, which is fine. But for them to be able to switch that up was huge. Now, what you just touched on, ironically, we're going to make you do something
that you hate.
You don't like to do in 1 second. But first, I'm going to finish with what Jalen was saying. Then we're going to ask you something you don't like. But first, I do almost think that injury helped him, Jalen, going back to Tua, because Tua was never a great athlete. And in the SEC, he had to get humbled eventually, right? He had to realize, I'm not the best athlete. I need to get rid of the ball more on time, right? Drew Brees got humbled by doing that early in San Diego, and he messed up his shoulder, almost messed up his career. Baker Mayfield struggled with that a lot last year and threw a lot of interceptions because he thought, it's Oklahoma still. Like, I can run around, I can do whatever. And Baker Mayfield's not nearly fast enough to do that, right? Like, we all looking at Baker like, dude, get rid of the ball. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Now Kyler is a different breed, of course, because Kyler's just so fast. But you made a great analogy of Kyler and Russell Wilson. But where I'm gonna fight you on that analogy is Kyler is built small.
Yeah.
When you look at Russell Wilson, even when he was young in the league, was just built stocky and thick. Like, he had thick legs, right? When you look at Kyler, I have a little fear with Kyler, like I did with Derrick Rose in basketball, of what happens the first time he cuts and the knee don't go, right? Like, I mean, I might have that fear because I've personally experienced the knee issues, as we talked about before. You know what I'm saying? Like, my knees are horrible. Like, they weren't. I wasn't joking. My knees are horrible.
Got them old knees, huh?
Yeah.
My
He
knees
got them DeJuan Blair knees.
Listen,
got no meniscus in them joints.
I already know what I'm getting for my 50th birthday is a knee replacement. That's my gift to me. I already have it set up. I'm gonna take some time off of work. Like, it's gonna be great. But seriously, it makes me wonder about a guy like Kyler. Of like, right now, he's not as consistent yet as I want him to be as a passer. Like, I look at the Dallas game, like I teased Scoob last week, even though he blew him out by 30. That should have been a 45, 50-point game. If he could complete some passes, he was just missing, right? He got himself over and was missing. Then I look at the end of that Miami game, and that sprint out, it just sticks with me a little bit of like, all right, Kyler, when you got to stay in the pocket, can you do it consistently enough yet? Lamar struggling with it. I think that's really what's like really putting it so center in my mind right now, as I'm looking at Lamar struggle to take that next step, because teams are now saying, all right, Lamar, we're not letting you run for 1,000 yards. Sure. We're not going to do that. Yeah. We'll let you throw the Willie Snead all you want to. Let's see if you're going to complete that. Right. He's struggling with it. They're winning games, so it's not getting as much attention as it would if not. But if you go from Lamar last year to Lamar this year, you go and you looking like something ain't right.
And I'm looking at Baltimore. I'm gonna let you go, my fault, bro. But I'm looking at Baltimore to really struggle this year in the playoffs again because of that. They're not as well balanced as I thought they were.
They run the ball 60% of the time. They're not a balanced team.
They're not a balanced team.
It's because of him. It's because of the defense is upholding their part.
Yeah, the defense is doing a tremendous job.
Running game is doing its part.
It's just like too much running. You know what I mean?
Go back, because like if you just go back to that Pittsburgh game, I mean, he actually lost them that game.
100%.
Right.
Fumbled twice, couple of interceptions. I have no idea what he was doing with the ball. Did he just not see the linebacker on the second pick? Like I mean, the dude was 6'6", so I don't know how he didn't see it.
I think it comes more of, I'm gonna go back to offensive coordinator, drawing up plays that guys like. If I'm a defense and I know all they do is three-step, RPO, three-step, I'm going to just sit on all the routes. They don't give the guy a chance to throw the ball downfield. Like the Rams coach, what's his name, Sean McVay. He's one of my favorite coaches. He says, I play Madden. He's a young coach. He said, I play Madden, I draw plays from Madden. He's drawing up plays that guys he know is going to like. yo, remember this play from Madden? Hey, we're going to run this play. Man, it's your favorite play, right? Yo, let's run this play. That's exciting for a player. Like, yo, this that play from Madden. You remember that play? I was going. That's that's somewhat of a fun deal. So when it comes down to certain things, I feel Lamar Jackson, you have to put the ball in his hands the way he wants the ball in his hands. The same thing with Cam Newton. Cam is the same way. Cam was, the beginning of the season, Cam was throwing the ball great. Now they got Cam running the ball every 5 seconds. And they 2-5.
It's true.
So when you let guys be quarterbacks and then let them be athletes at a quarterback, because Cam and Lamar Jackson, they're nothing but, and Kyler Murray, they're nothing but athletes at quarterback. Right. That's all it is.
That's my issue. See, okay, and I look at it more from a coaching standpoint, right? Because if I'm the coach, I look at my talent and I say, all right, Lamar can do this, this, and this. I know for a fact if I have him do this, though, he's not going to do it well enough for us to win games. So I can draw up plays, but I'm eliminating these. Like, these plays are gone. Can't do them because he can't run them. So you're right. Yeah, there's a lot of RPO. There's a lot of runs. There's a lot of play actions. But I don't necessarily believe that that's because the coordinator is incompetent and just a dummy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I look at it more so like, all right, this is showing me that this offense hasn't evolved because of somebody who has the keys to the offense won't allow it to evolve. You know what I'm saying? That means the coaches are seeing something in practice. They're seeing something in games where it's like, all right, we want him to do this and he's not doing it well. So we got to stick to this. Because which is a player problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can talk all we want about how players, how coaches need to adjust to the skill set of their players and all that. But, you got paid to play defense, right? So that means you had to make some plays too. So, all right, cool. I know Lamar. I know what Baltimore's going to do. I know what Kyler's going to try to do. They're going to try to run the ball, set that up, right? And then eventually try to hit you deep. But if they can never establish the run on first down and I shut that down and Lamar's not a proficient first down passer, guess what? They're not going to beat me, right? It's going to be a close game. And they're really benefiting from the fact that defense and Marlon Humphreys is getting all those turnovers that they're causing. Because if not, we'd be talking
But this is why you got to open up your playbook. If you know somebody's going to we're going to put 8 in the box, we're going to squat on all the routes. We know you're doing 3-step. You got to send some people downfield. You got to give the kid a chance. Got to let him throw the ball downfield. I don't think they letting him throw the ball downfield enough. I think if we look at his throws longer than 15 yards, even attempts or routes ran there, I don't think it's many. And
it's definitely not a lot.
It's not a lot. So they're coaches are somewhat putting him in a box. And ever since he came from college, they always said, he might be a non-sufficient passer.
Right.
But the guy threw for, I believe, fourth. He run Heisman. He threw for 4,000.
4,000 yards, ran for over 1,000. Great.
I don't care where you go. It's guys that went to USC.
For sure.
And he plays for my favorite team. Guys that go into USC that got drafted before. They got drafted the same.
We're not going to disrespect Sam Darnold like that. We're not going to
Sam Darnold does not have it.
He
got drafted. He got paid all that money. I knew, Sam Darnold's not it.
No. I'm gonna fight you on that one. Okay, Sam Darnold is not the issue. Not the issue.
Let me finish my point. This is my favorite team. So I watched the kid. He doesn't make good decisions. He's scary in the pocket. He has happy feet. And he can't read coverage.
Broken down.
That's everything. That's everything right there. I know playing in New York is tough. I know that. But Mark Sanchez even looked good.
Well, a little bit.
Pull up on it. Look adequate.
Hey, besides the butt fumble, y'all can't say that Mark Sanchez
was winning games because of that defense. We're not going to Mark Sanchez.
Defense wins championships.
Okay, and I'm with you 100%. But first off, we're not going to disrespect Sam Darnold when Adam Gase is his coach. Okay, you're not going to sit here and tell me not a thing.
You said Mark Sanchez, but you always got to remember his coach at the time was Rex Ryan too. Like,
and Rex Ryan was a flash in the pan, but that flash was a proficient flash, right? Like once it was done, though, it was done.
It was over.
Sam Darnold has who? Okay, this is my problem with the Jets. You now about to get me ranting. Okay, we're not at all staying on script.
I open up the can. Let's go.
I apologize, but this is a subject I'm passionate about. So hold on, you done opened up.
I got a point for you too, because you was kind of backtracking on your Lamar point, but I'm gonna let you go first.
Who, me?
Yes,
I'm gonna get you for another reason though. I'm gonna get you for another reason.
You can get me in a second. Hold on.
Okay,
so this is my point when it comes to the Jets. Okay, the Jets' problem is they went out and hired a guy who calls himself an offensive genius.
Trash.
And has not improved the offense since 2012. What is he doing?
You see the non-hesitation when he said trash, though? Like, he knew.
That's horrible. I can't name. Jay Cutler is the only player who got better under Adam Gase. And the thing is, he didn't get better. He just finally stopped throwing as many picks. Like, he was still throwing picks, just instead of 20, it was 16. Cool. Like Adam Gase love the fact that he keeps somehow falling into new jobs is ridiculous. Okay, so I'm not putting anything on Sam Darnold until I see him with an actual coach. Now, when you said some things right there, you said he can't read coverages, can't do this, he can't do that. Coming to Sean McVay, I could say the same thing about Jared Goff, but the difference is Sean McVay, the genius that he is like, all right, cool. He struggles post-snap reads. So I'm going to make all these reads pre-snap for him. We're going to do all this motion, make the defense just tell us what they're in, right? We're going to move Goff out of the pocket because Goff is, if you want to talk about a quarterback scared in the pocket, Jared Goff is scared in the pocket, right? Throws a beautiful ball, but scared in the pocket. So we're going to roll him out. We're going to give him 2 looks. So we know, all right, cool, we're in the cover 3. He's either going against this drag, you know what I'm saying, or this long crosser, or he's going to hit the check down. Those are his 2 options. You don't see that with a quarterback like Sam Darnold. You don't see that. Now, I'm actually saying this to defend my guy Carson Wentz, because I had an argument earlier today in which I was like, is Doug Peterson low-key dumb? Because his offense is not – these offenses are not catered to protect the weaknesses of the quarterback, right? Like, if I know my quarterback is struggling with reads, all right, cool, I need more motion so I can have them see – all right, they're in a cover 3. Cool. This is where you need to go with the ball. Run a play to scheme a receiver open. When was the last time we saw the Jets run a play to scheme a receiver open? I haven't seen it.
We ain't got one.
You know what I'm saying? So
we got Crowder.
Exactly. You're expecting Jamison Crowder to beat his man every play. They're not scheming anybody open. So I'm blaming a lot of that not on Sam Darnold. But y'all can come at me. What's up? What's up?
No, because I know we gotta move on at some point. All I'm saying is you were talking about how limited, coaches may be because a player isn't getting better. And I said, would you say the same thing to your boy Carson Wentz? Because he looked like he was been regressing ever since, and he still looked like he's not strong in certain areas that we've been talking about since his rookie year. And because usually you say, oh no, it's the coaches when it comes to him, but you just said the opposite when it came to Lamar. No. So I'm just saying.
So I 100% understand what you're saying. So the reason why I say it's the coaches, right, is if we saw in 2017, when you have him play to his strengths, what he can do. Since 2017, when Frank Wright and John DeFilippo left that room, they decided, we're not going to play to his strengths. We're going to play to our strengths, what we want our offense to look like. There's no job in the NFL in which I believe you should play to the coach's strengths over the player's strength, right? It's a player's league no matter what. The player is the one who needs to make the coverages. The player is the one who needs to make the pass. So when I look at it, I can tell you, and every Eagles fan in America can tell you the same thing. Carson Wentz is great up-tempo. Carson Wentz is better throwing the ball when he's out of the pocket. Carson Wentz is better when you let him line up with 20 seconds on the clock, discover what the defense is in, give him 2 plays he can audible to if the play that is currently called isn't going to work, and go, right? He likes to play backyard football. I'm a fan, and I can tell you this. Why are the coaches not playing to those strengths? What I say with Lamar is Lamar's strength right now is not throwing the ball deep. So the coach is not doing that. Now, does that limit your offense? Possibly, yes. But I'm helping him cover up his weakness. While the coaches in Philly, coaches in New York right now are not helping to cover up the player's weakness. And that's my issue with it. If you're going to do, if your player is limited, find a way around. I believe in that in any sport. If, okay, he can't do this, we're going to do this. If he can't do that, we're going to do that. If you paying him over $100 million, you better figure it out.
You really believe Lamar can't throw the football downfield, though?
That's like
that's what the numbers say.
That's like asking, okay. That's like asking the DB. We're gonna go to defensive backs. That's like asking the DB, limiting the DB to zone coverage because all he can play is man.
Excuse me.
That hurt.
Say that again. Wait, I need to hear that again.
That's like saying we can't play zone coverage because Darrell, we're just saying we're just gonna throw a name out there. I'm not gonna use his name because that's disrespect.
Actually,
now
though,
we can use that.
Use his name actually, because I got to use his name. Right.
So Darrell Reeves, great man-to-man coverage guy, right? So we're gonna say we can't play zone because all Reeves knows how to play is man. He struggles in zone, so we're not gonna play zone. You can't do that. You have to run zone at some time. You have to do it.
Now, would you put Reeves? I'm glad you used that name because I got an exact point for Reeves. Ironically, when Reeves signed with Tampa Bay and left the Jets, they went from playing him as Reeves Island into a cover 3 defense in Tampa Bay.
Cover 2.
Right? Cover 2 defense. Sorry. Cover 2 defense in Tampa Bay. And he struggled for Reeves. He wasn't as great as he was for the Jets or in New England, right? That was his worst stop. Everybody commonly will tell you Reeves struggled the most in Tampa. So why would I put the best man corner in the league? Why would I sign him if I want to run his own defense? First off, I wouldn't have signed him. That's stupid from a general manager standpoint. If I know that's what we want to run. Secondly, if now I did sign him, I now need to play to his strengths. Now you're right. Eventually you have to throw the ball down the field, or eventually you're going to have to play some zone in this situation, right? But 85% of the time, I'm going to be a man with Darrell Reeves because that's what he does well. Now you're right. That other 15% has to be in zone. You got to keep things honest, but they are taking some deep shots with Lamar. It's just not working.
Right. But I just don't think that
this
needs it to be effective though. You know what I mean? Like go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
I feel they're taking their shots more in situations where everybody knows it's a gut have to throw the ball downfield. 30-16.
Fair enough. I'll give you that.
30-17. I'm not. How you expect somebody who's not used to throwing the ball downfield to make a 3rd and 17?
Yeah, when that's not his game anyway. Yeah, that's not his game anyway. And now you put him in the first spot. You're right.
So in situations where they think we're gonna run the ball, how about we take a shot?
First down, deep ball off play action to start the game, maybe. Switch it up.
I feel like running the RPO in that manner. Like I feel like that even plays to his strengths because you don't know where you're going to get on first down. You know what I mean? Like you're keeping the defense on their toes on first down, so you don't have to be, you don't have to be a primary running team to set the tone and foundation on first down because you have that many options.
Now hold up.
Mm-hmm. So everyone, so taking them shots down the field, I feel like they just don't give him the opportunity to do it in the way that he needs to versus it being a part of that, just that design package. Like, hey, this is how we're going to take our shot down the field versus it being, hey, Lamar, these are your options in taking these. And I'm going to give you the leeway to make that call at the line on first down. If you see something, hey, let's take that shot. You know what I mean? I don't know. I could be wrong. I just don't think that they're giving him the opportunity to really take his shots downfield because again, he threw for 4,000 yards. Like you're telling me he can't throw the ball? That's crazy to me.
To be fair, a lot of dudes in college threw for 4,000 yards who can't throw the ball.
Yeah, but not that I don't know about.
To be fair, You know how many 4,000-yard quarterbacks there are in college right now? A lot of them not in the NFL. Like that's just facts.
The quarterback is, it's a saturated. Even though it's an important position, but it's still a saturated position because
in college, yes.
In college, you know what I'm saying? So, but I agree with what you're saying. I just think that they need to open up, like Rose said, just kind of give him the opportunity to call that shot a little more. You know what I mean? So, segue.
Yeah. I'm about to say, and let's let the audience be clear. We sound critical of these young quarterbacks, but they're still young quarterbacks.
They're still young.
And I have nothing love for them.
Yeah, we all got love.
I look at it. I'm looking at it as the GM projecting, right? Because when you look at it, everybody loved Carson Wentz until he got paid.
Yeah.
Right? If Carson Wentz was still making $15 million a year, nobody would be this critical. But now Lamar next year is about to get paid. The year after that is Kyler. Right. So now you go from being the fairy tale sweetheart of the league to, this who we paying $33 million?
Cupcake face is over.
So quick.
Sometimes they might hold you back so they won't have to pay you that $33 million.
Now Lamar about to get $800 million. Like,
yeah, they gonna give it to him.
Like,
they gonna give it to him.
They trying to hold Lamar back. They failed already.
But that's a good point though, because quarterbacks are so highly touted in the draft. You know what I'm saying? Like as the position to draft, like you're basically building your team around your quarterback.
Yeah, like what the Cowboys about to do.
I'm about to say.
We're gonna get to that because that's we're gonna get to that.
But speaking of young quarterbacks, and I'm glad you said you were like in that GM mindset. Real quick, out of the young rookie quarterback class right now, which young quarterback do y'all have being good in the next like couple of years? Go ahead, Tone, because you got your hand up like it's class. I don't know what you want me to do with that.
Listen, I had my hand up because I'm excited about this one.
Go ahead.
I'm going with the one that I didn't at all think I would go with coming into the year. I believe we're going to look back 5 years from now and say Justin Herbert is the best quarterback from his draft.
That's funny because I had him too. Like, that's crazy.
Going into the draft last year, Jalen and I watched Oregon versus Auburn, game 1. And I was like, this is him? This the cat they saying is
He really did, though. He was coming out my man. I was like, damn.
I was like, this dude? Y'all telling me him. Now I'm watching him in LA, and he might throw a top 5 ball in the NFL right now.
Oh, for sure.
I wish I could run a 4.4 and just so I can catch one of his balls. Like, you got quarterbacks who throw hard rockets all the time, but when you look at him throw it, that touch is just something I didn't see. I didn't see it at all. And now I'm looking at him, and as I said in episode 1, I think Anthony Lynn is fired. Unfortunately, I don't root against black head coaches.
Yeah, no, but
he somehow cannot seem to win games at the end. I mean, you shouldn't blow every double-digit lead. I don't think that's good for job security to blow every double-digit lead. So,
especially when
his next coach,
especially like when you're a young quarterback, and like again, mind you, we're in what, week 9 now, week 10, something like that. Like, especially when you're a young quarterback right now who took over in the second game at that is already over 2,000 passing yards. He's completing like 68% of his passes. He got 17 touchdowns to only 5 interceptions as a rookie. Like he's making it. He as a rookie, he's real comfortable in the pocket back there. And it's not like they've been playing cupcake teams. Like he's been doing this against like good teams.
The Saints, the Chiefs, Oakland last week. Like he's been doing this against a schedule that makes you go, wow, okay. Wow. So I'm seeing something from him that I did not expect. I thought I would come in at this point in the year and say Joe Burrow or say a Tua. Now the thing is, I think we might have a situation like we did in the Ben Roethlisberger draft where you have 3 quarterbacks taken that high, and all 3 have the ability to reach a level of success that make you go, wow. You got to remember, you had Eli, 2 chips, right? You had Ben Roethlisberger, 2 chips. You have Phillip Rivers, who's about to pass Dan Marino in all-time passing yards this weekend.
Yeah.
So you man Rivers
quarterbacks were great for their era. Now Phillip Rivers never made the promised land. You know, that was a Chargers problem. Okay. But I look at these 3 quarterbacks and I can see man, if they stay healthy the way they're projecting right now, I know you said you hate to project going forward for rookies, but I got to do it. Going forward, I could see these three being special.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Herbert and I like Burrow. Them two guys is just special. But I think Joe Burrow gonna have a little bit of a tougher task on his hands out there in Cincinnati. I think he's gonna have the numbers, but he might fall under the waistline of an Andy Dalton type deal, especially if an AJ Green's not on the field. It's gonna be tough for him. I don't. No. I'm not disrespecting them. It's just you got to understand certain systems. You just get labeled. They don't get a lot of airtime. They don't get a lot of TV time, so you don't see them much.
Right. Dang Bengals. It's the Bengals.
So it's easy. It's easy to forget about the Bengals. It's real easy. Wow. So it's like he has to have. This year is just a test run for him. He's playing great. He's his numbers is pretty decent. I believe he's like top 15, top 10 passing. I think he has more touchdowns and then yards than Herbert, I believe. But Herbert to me just looks more polished, looks more fluent, looks more seasoned. He's back there in a pocket. He's throwing the ball well. He's reading, is going through his progressions, and he just looks like a veteran quarterback back there that's been in the league 5, 6, 7 years.
I see a franchise quarterback. I believe he's going to be the franchise for the Chargers, and they'll be stupid. They'll be stupid if they let this kid go and they don't sign this kid to a long-term contract. They better not try to franchise tag him or any of that because, it's going to be guys out there that's going to be trying to get him because guys need quarterbacks. And we know just what happened with the Cowboys. And I don't want him to go to the Cowboys.
All right.
That would just
I'm just saying, I think they're a good case study on what not
to do.
All right.
I want him to come to the boys.
All right.
Not the
real
boys.
quick before Scoob, you give me yours. The one thing I will say that about Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert, I also like they have like a confidence / swag back there, like the way they rally their guys already. And I feel like that's very hard in the NFL, especially as a young guy, to be like, nah, y'all gonna have to listen to me. Like you're telling grown men.
Joe Burrow's a captain already.
Yeah.
Like they voted him a captain as a rookie. Like that's crazy.
The saving grace for Joe Burrow, that's why I agree with you. I think he's going to be great. You ain't got Marvin Lewis there, staying there for 20 years off of an 8-8 record. Just
and Marvin Lewis lived.
Marvin Lewis got the best
coach in that franchise's history.
Bro, he has the best agent in the world. I don't understand how you were 8-8 so long and still had a job, bro.
Man,
the only word that comes to mind when I hear Marvin Lewis' name is fleeced. Because he milked the system. You know what I mean?
Y'all disrespected. Y'all disrespecting Marvin.
I'm not disrespecting. I'm just how many playoff wins did Marvin Lewis have?
You disrespecting Marvin Lewis is. I think there's bigger issues in Cincinnati than the coach.
Well, yeah.
Their owner is known as one of the cheapest owners in the NFL. They don't do things like other NFL franchises because that ownership group is crazy.
The bank to win. Belichick proved that. You don't got to break.
No. Wait a minute. Belichick came out and said the exact opposite of what you just said there, Scoop. He just said the reason we
said that now.
No. Listen.
He said that now.
So what he said was, because he was spending the money then. What he said was, we went for it and we spent all this money to get those chips, and now we have no money to get more players. Which is true.
They did not spend no money, bro. Who did they spend money on?
Are you crazy? They gave Stephon Gilmore the highest paying contract in the history of the NFL for a corner at the time. And they still had Malcolm Butler on the franchise tag.
So Gilmore wasn't Gilmore wasn't playing to that level now?
I'm not saying he wasn't playing to the whoa, you misconstrue what I'm saying now, Scoop. That's not what I said. I said they spent money. I didn't say they spent it dumb. I said they spent money.
But they didn't spend that much money.
Yes, they did. They had one of the highest caps in the NFL.
Yeah, that's why they salary cap right now.
Yeah.
now
because of the deals they did in the past. So what they kept doing, what happened was by losing Brady, right? What they were doing was every couple of years they were redoing Brady's deal and adding dead money to his cap because of they were restructuring him to pay other people. Now, since Brady left, all that dead cap money came due this year.
Right.
And then you still had to give Gilmore a pay bump this year because he won Defensive Player of the Year. You should have guys who are counting against your cap who are who aren't playing because of COVID, because they opted out, but they still count against their cap. They spent money. It's just this year they didn't have any extra money to go out and get the team better. So you do have to spend money in this league.
I mean, you do got to spend money. You don't
They
have
were
to
just smart about it.
Yeah, okay. Okay, you can say they were smart about it, but at the time to win their chips, they didn't. I mean, like I said, it's coming back to bite them now. But that upfront money,
they paid that money on the defensive side of the ball. They just didn't pay nobody on offense.
Right? Yeah.
They paid Brady and then gave him scraps. But that defense was getting paid.
Right.
Oh yeah, Vince Wilfork ate.
Yeah.
Vince Wilfork ate.
See how big he is? That man he was getting his money's worth.
You know what I mean? Vince Wilfork ate. But I agree. So for me, my guy, I'm sticking with my guy, man. Tua, man. I think Tua is going to be literally he's going to be a top quarterback in this league. I want to go out on a limb and say a top 3 at some point, and I think it's the silent. Well, first of all, I think it's the structure that he came up in, right? I think it's what the foundation that Nick Saban put around him initially that kind of molded him into being just kind of a different quarterback in terms of thinking, progression reading defenses, just being a smart quarterback. I mean, and he's done it in the biggest situation that you could possibly think of, coming in a national championship game. So I think that poise, just that maturity level at the position, I think is just going to propel him a little bit further. I really like Justin Herbert, though. I'm not going to hold you. He reminds me of Steve Young. You know what I mean? He reminds me of Steve Young as a passer. Yeah, he reminds me of Steve Young. He's got the capability, and I think he has the capability to be more mobile like a Steve Young, but just his awareness, his presence in the pocket, his decision-making, his even going through the progressions. I look at him like a Steve Young. Like it's just something about the way Steve Young played in San Francisco, the freedom that he had to be able to move around. And
I wasn't expecting that as a comp. Like you kind of threw me.
Yeah, I see Steve Young in him. And again, it might not be to a T, but I just see some characteristics in him about how he's leading this team. I really feel like that he's going to be, he's going to be top 2. So if I could choose 2, I'm going to say Tua and Herbert for me. I really like those 2. No diss to Kyler Murray or anything, because I feel like Kyler Murray is going to be another juggernaut in this league. But I just, like you said, I'm worried about him being durable. I'm worried about that one hit, that knee that may not go that way, and him just one play away from his career being totally altered. You know what I mean? And so I think the decision that he does, because with Herbert and Tua, they don't have to be so irrational on the offensive side of the ball for me right now, right? So they don't have to be the one, like we talked about last week, Antonio, where you talk about a quarterback elevating their team and having to do it all. You know what I'm saying? We see the toll that it's taken on Cam. Cam hasn't really been the same since that MVP season. You know what I mean? Where like he really
break down
the load, and that was reminiscent of his Auburn season where they won a national championship, where Cam was literally the running back and the quarterback. Like they were barely going like this. It was Cam run fake and Cam in between the tackles. So I think those things played a toll, and it made his durability that much more unsure. And I think that's why Carolina had to do what they had to do. A lot of people were upset with that. But I think Carolina had to do what they had to do, even though they ran him into the ground, right? I think that at the end of the day,
world, man, it's a cold
world. It's a cold world. It's how they used to treat running backs. You know how?
I mean, it's the NFL. It's how the NFL.
They still treat them bad.
Still treat them bad, but it's like running back, right? You run it for a good 2-3 years, and then
I'm out.
Yeah, but that's how they.
Right? And the only guys that were having longevity were the cats like a Darren Sproles, even though he was a little bit injured. But look at his role on the field.
He never was a lead ball carrier.
Never a lead ball carrier. You know what I mean? Even look at what him and L
dominant.
You know what I'm saying? Like him and LT together, prime example. LT had a good couple years run, but when he fell off,
Great couple years.
I'm about to say, don't say good, great. Like,
Great.
I'm here with it. Like that, like LT's one of my favorite running backs. You know what I'm saying? But when he fell off, it was over.
Yeah, him and the Jets was a little nasty to see.
hey, listen, got him to a championship game.
Hold on, Jalen. I think we're gonna need to make a little bit of an audible because of time. So I think we're gonna do 2 more segments, right?
Yeah.
Right now we should do the who you got. And then we should close it out with barbershop hot takes and leave it at that for time. I mean, this has been great convo, and
Sure.
you know, no disrespect to y'all, but you know, viewers are not gonna want to watch us for too long.
Y'all gonna listen to this football talk. I don't care what y'all say. Say, no, I'm just kidding. I love y'all, viewers.
I don't got the lighting for me to be on camera for as long as y'all got.
Go ahead. So go ahead and introduce the who you got segment.
So our next segment today is called Who You Got. So each week we will be discussing who we genuinely believe is top 5. I'm tired of hearing people out in these streets calling Blake Griffins of the world top 5 players in their respective league or at their position. Oh, no, we're not going into that right now.
No.
I'm tired of hearing dudes who are not top 5, Rip Hamilton, get mentioned amongst the greats. I'm not saying no names. First of all,
you're gonna stop disrespecting.
I'm not saying no names, and somebody might have said Rip Hamilton is a Hall of Famer.
And let me preface this real quick. When we're doing this top 5, we're doing this currently of how this season is going. So I just want the audience to know, because some of y'all ain't watched the whole video and y'all was coming at some of our takes when y'all should have known that it happened before a certain game played out. So some of our
we look bad right now.
Yeah, so we look bad with our first top 5s, but as of November 12th, before this next set of games happen, these are the current top 5 that we believe are in the league at this position.
And since we got a bona fide killer at DB with us, I thought today was the best time to break out our list of top 5 DBs. Who wants to start us out?
I'm gonna just put it out there that Rose should and could definitely be in the league, but I'm gonna just leave that there.
Yeah, you might as well just put a Cowboy jersey on them because they
worse than Worley was for y'all. Can't.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I will go to bat for my man. You hear me? Like,
I don't know.
He in Texas.
Bro, listen. At one point we had Bradley Fletcher as a corner.
Of starting us off with this one as the bona fide DB yourself.
Yeah, because I'm curious to hear this.
Y'all want me to start it off?
Yeah.
Well, top 5 DBs. Well, I'm gonna start with this is guys that's currently in the NFL.
Yes.
Okay, and this is guys. I got some guys that's currently injured. You know, it's about 1 or 2 guys.
Your list is your list. I'm not about to judge until I judge.
Right. The audience judge you.
I say. This is no order. Marcus Peters. Marcus Peters is my guy. Baltimore Ravens. Turnover king. He gets the ball in his hands. He makes plays. Not the greatest cover guy, but if you need a play made, he reminds me of an Asante Samuels type guy. So Asante is one of my favorite of all time. Of course, you got to go with Jalen Ramsey. You know, he's just like lights out. You know. Big, physical, fast, cover, makes plays. Then I'm going to go with Stephon Gilmore, Defensive Player of the Year. You got to put that guy in it. It's no way you cannot mention cornerback right now without mentioning that guy's name. He's very scrappy, fast, can cover, could have better hands, but he's scrappy, you know, could run with anybody, and he's a dog. He's low-key fearless. Then I got Darius Slay. I think that guy he reads, he sees, and he attacks.
Big play, Slay.
You know, he reads the 3 steps. And he's taking that thing to the crib. You know, he's gonna get that pick. And he's gonna go to the crib. And to let everybody know, these is all corners. I didn't put safeties in there. This is all like straight corners.
We just one corner.
And I would say. I can't say corner without Patrick Peterson, man.
Today in the year of our Lord 2020,
they don't throw at that man. They don't throw him.
I just want to confirm the year of our Lord
Yes.
2020. Patrick Peterson.
Yes. 20.
At 39,000 years old is who you.
Yes.
Okay.
He's-
All right. Just want to confirm.
He still can do it.
Wow.
And I told you I had 6. I gotta add this guy in there.
Oh, we letting guests get special privileges, huh?
Hey,
Okay.
he's the special guest.
Because they both old. So I told you it's a 5A and it's a 5B.
Okay.
Richard Sherman.
I knew he was gonna say. I knew it.
You can't deny him, man.
The year of our Lord 2020, right? I just want to confirm that's what we talking about. It's not 2014 talks.
Sherman's the top DB last year, bro. Like, stop doing that to Sherman, bro.
So
Man, I'm sorry.
It's all about the body of work.
Okay.
So my mama told me that if I don't have nothing nice to say, I shouldn't say nothing. But in this case, I gotta say something. Your list is terrible. Terrible.
His face.
What?
You got 97-year-old Patrick Peterson on this list?
They don't throw it over there, bro.
That's because Arizona's defense is bad everywhere else. That don't mean he's
What
good.
you mean? I'm covering the best guy on the field.
Listen.
I'm traveling. Guys is not he. I'm traveling with the best guy.
Hold on. I'm about to put out my list because you left off the top 2 DBs in the league right now. So I'm gonna start it off. I'm gonna go in a particular order for you.
Okay.
One.
So hold on. What are you judging your DBs off before you go?
Okay, so I'm a lockdown type of guy. I want that DB that if I put him in cover 0, is gonna lock it down. Okay. I want a guy that they don't want to throw to, like you were saying with Pat P. I like that type of guy, right? That's what I'm going for. But I think you must have been sleeping, or you must have not thought about it when you said this, because you're gonna hear this name and you're immediately gonna agree with me. Number 1 in the league right now is Jari Alexander from Green Bay. Dominant. See, that's the face I was looking for right there.
So look, I like Jair because he can punt return, he can do all of that. He don't have hands like that.
They're not throwing. First off, wait a minute. They're not throwing to him for him to have hands. They're not throwing to him.
Let's look up his targets.
You can look up his targets. He was targeted like 1 time last game. Look up his target. We can look up the target. You look up the targets, Jalen. I'm gonna continue on my list. Can you please look up the targets for me? But Jair Alexander is number 1 on my list. Okay, and I that's not even really debatable to me. Number 2 on my list.
Number one.
Number 2 on my list. You said the wrong corner from this team. Marlon Humphreys is number 2 on my list from Baltimore. Now, Marcus Peters might have better hands, but Marlon Humphreys puts the ball on the ground and recovers fumbles. So he makes up for the lack of interceptions by fumbles. He's a better tackler. He's a lockdown corner. You can move him into the slot. You can move him outside. Like, that positional versatility is insane for Marlon Humphreys right now. And he just got paid. There's a reason he just got paid when he got paid. Marcus Peters, he's a good corner. You're not wrong. I think he's a good corner. But some games you look at him as like, what are you reading? What, like, you're supposed to be a ball hawk, but I don't know what he's reading some games. And talking to some of my friends from Baltimore who are friends of the Ravens, they kind of hate him some games. Some games you love him. Some games you want him cut. You don't want him traded. You don't want a conditional 6th-round pick. You want him off your team. So I had to go with the better corner on that roster, Marlon Humphreys, number 2.
Marcus Peters only allowed 5 touchdowns in 2020, bro.
Already? 5 tutties?
No. Last year.
Oh, okay.
He gambles a lot.
He does get a lot.
He takes chances.
And you got to remember, he got jettisoned from the Rams. The Rams was done with him because of that. So I guess I agree.
I think it was more of his attitude.
Yeah,
that's a possibility. Well, that's possible. It's possible. But at number 3, I got Jalen Ramsey, dog. Just a dog right now in the league. I mean, if you moved him to safety, he'd be one of the best safeties in the NFL. Like, you put him wherever you put him on the field, he's going to just be one of the best. Like, he's a dog, great athlete, nose for the ball, always around the ball, whether it's making a tackle or making a pick. Like when you're that great of a corner, and I just always see you on the field making a play, like in a running game against the Bears. Remember that big 4th and 1 comes up, seals the edge, and makes the tackle. Like just dominant player, right? So I got him number 3. Number 4, I went with Tre'Davious White out in Buffalo. Dominant player this year. Buffalo's defense as a whole is struggling. Their defensive line, I don't know what's going on with, but he's still locking it down in that secondary. LSU stand up right there. Like he's dominating for his spot. And at number 5, I'm going with somebody a little unconventional, a little off the beaten path here. I'm going to go with James Bradbury from the Giants. He's having a great year.
That's different.
He's a zone corner. He's a primarily zone corner, but what he's doing is he's locked down on his side. And if you look at the steps that Giants defense has made in the past month, it's a lot of that you can attribute to, all right, we know what we're doing on the back end now. So our D line can play a little freer and get after that quarterback, because we had that extra second knowing Bradbury's back there locking things down.
Even Logan Ryan has said Bradbury coming into their secondary has been like a big help. And you got to remember, he used to play for the Panthers, so he used to go against the Julios all the time. You know, the big time receivers like Michael Thomas and all that. So
he knows he's performing. It's hard to doubt it.
Real quick, I'm gonna do my list. My qualification was, I agree with some of the people you were, but I was doing based off of right now going into this next upcoming week of who's the best corners I see. So my thing was like, they have to be healthy, they have to be playing and stuff like that. So for mine, I got Jalen Ramsey number 1. I feel like if you take him from the secondary, we already just said it. If you take him from the secondary, they ain't shit pretty much. Like I have Jair Alexander, it's my number 2. Marlon Humphrey is my number 3. I have Bryce Callahan from the Broncos as my number 4.
Oh, he's pretty good. He's pretty good.
That's a good name, though.
And that's because you gotta think, in the beginning of the year, he was playing just the perimeter basically, and they switched him into the slot, and like since then he hasn't really given up any yards or touchdowns at all. He's a very solid game.
The best slot corner.
I think I'm about to say outside of Humphrey, I think he's the only other corner who hasn't really given up a touchdown yet this year. I think he only gave up 1. And then my last person, which may be out there, whatever, but I just like how this kid plays, especially this year. Hope I'm saying his name right, but Xavier Howard, the corner on the Dolphins. This man got 4 interceptions, and he's been playing. He's been playing
on that cover 0.
Yeah, he be in the slot and all of that, man.
Yeah, like I seen him.
All of that.
He's that dog on their team.
He like
they just
that.
like, yo, strap him up. Strap him up. And if you test him, he's gonna make you pay. So he's.
See, I didn't know this is how we was doing it. I thought we was just talking about like coming up into the season, like.
But it's all good. But the people you mentioned, again, like if we were just talking about just in general, absolutely. But I was looking at more of up until now for just the 2020 season right now.
See, I would have. Okay.
We'll let you go again.
We'll let you go again.
No. We good. We don't worry about it.
We're not trying to do this. He's gonna be coming back with us, folks. So don't worry.
Yeah, he's coming back. He's definitely coming back.
I still like my list. I'm sticking with my list.
I like that.
I like my list.
Pick integrity.
I think if I take my 5 lists into a game, we making plays. We coming back with at least 3-4.
I'm targeting Marcus Peters the whole game from your list. I'm hitting him with 18 double moves.
We get one of. If he get one of those, we good.
That's just a true story. One of those. That's all we need.
All we need is one.
All right.
Gave up 6 touchdowns, but 1 pick.
All right. So my list, and actually I'm a little mad because me and Jalen, our list, somewhat similar. All right, number 1 for me, Stephon Gilmore. Like I say, can't deny Defensive Player of the Year. He's just playing phenomenal football. He's solid, somebody that you can trust on the field. A real captain of the defense, you know what I mean? Like he's a leader, I feel like, you know what I mean? And just an overall dog. My number 2, and for me, it's kind of like a 1 and 1A because I feel like Jalen Ramsey doesn't like he gets the respect, but Jalen Ramsey is a problem, Like I think there's only a really small degree of separation between him and Gilmore. Jalen is big, he's physical, you know what I mean? He's fast, he's just a great corner. And so I love him. My number 3, Tre'Davious White. Aside from what the Buffalo Bills are doing defensively, he's having a monster season. Tre'Davious is having a monster season. I just like his versatility. I like what he's been bringing to the table and kind of anchoring that defense a little bit. My number 4.
Oh Lord.
Rob, I say you taking way too long. You better not come out no.
Bradbury. I'm gonna have to go with Bradbury. I like the way Bradbury's playing. I like the way Bradbury's playing.
I'm good at this, y'all.
Yeah. But Jalen took my freaking 5th pick, man. Yo, Xavier Howard. He's my sleeper, man.
Listen.
This kid, man.
Dog.
That's all you can say. Dog.
There are hardly any flaws in his game, y'all. And that's the thing that was kind of really shocking to me, because normally you can, in any player, you can normally pick out, what their weak point is. With this kid, you put him anywhere on the field, Like Jay said, you put me anywhere on God's green earth, I'll triple my worth. This kid, problem. And I think
what's crazy about him?
Yeah.
He's been doing it for some years.
Yeah.
But Miami has been struggling. But he's been good.
He's been really, really good.
Years now.
I wanted
on because of it.
I wanted to make him 4, but Bradbury is having a really, really, really good season. And that's one thing I can't deny. And if the Dolphins weren't, in a sense, so bad, you know what I mean, in that department, he would have been my 4. But hold
on. Now they're good. But
now they're good. I mean, because with Tua stepping in, and now they're starting to kind of get their stuff together. But I just, that's my list, man. I think that the DB position is going to get even more competitive. I wanted to have Darius Slay in there. He's right on the outside for me at 6. Even though I hate the Eagles.
Okay, bro.
Makes you feel good.
That made me feel great, actually.
Darius Slay, nice, man.
He's nice, bro. And again, I like his speed. I like his reaction to the ball. You know what I mean? I like his coverage. He's not afraid to guard anybody. I love that.
I got a quick yes or no question for y'all.
All right.
Is the cornerback position starting to become as competitive for who's the top guy as the receiver position?
Yes.
I think so, if you know football.
Because before you couldn't have said that. Before you get past 3, and it was a drop off. But now you look at it, and man, I just, you said Darius Slay. Y'all said Darius Slay. Great corner, right? Well, I mean, Stephon Gilmore wasn't on my list because of the injury. Richard Sherman last year was an all-pro again, injured this year. But, it's becoming so deep, it's almost matching that receiver position. And that just makes the game of football so much more interesting to see, now what are defenses going to change into to match this passing league now? And that's what really makes me excited about what's going on.
Sure. I think you're going to see positions spinning up just like in the NBA, right? Big men, how big men are.
Now with the linebacker spot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Converted safeties, yeah.
Yes, exactly. You know what I'm saying?
You need speed. These tight ends are freaks. These receivers are freaks. So you need speed, and you need guys who can cover that. If you can't cover it, you can't be a 4-5-5 quarter anymore. It's just not doable in this league.
For sure.
You need 4-2, 4-3, 4-4 speed now. And it makes a difference. It makes it way different.
Hey, I want to say something before we go. And man looked a little cliffish, Antonio.
So we're gonna move on to barbershop hotcakes. Okay, we're just gonna move on to the next segment, our last segment of the night. Who's our last segment brought to us by today, Jalen?
So brought to you by Benson Built. Go to benson-built.com to get the latest sports apparel. And you can go follow them on Instagram at Benson_Built. Again, if you're looking for nice sports apparel, please go to Benson-Built.com.
We do a discount code that says Cliffish.
Cliffish.
So what we're going to do right now, For our guests, I'm gonna explain what this is. So, barbershop hot takes. I want you to think you going in to get a haircut, right? And you hear the old man in the chair saying something crazy. That's the level of hot take I want. So, I'm gonna give you an example. My first hot take is I think the Clippers. First hot take of the show was I believe the Clippers trade Paul George this offseason, and that team never comes back the way it was supposed to. That was my first one, right? But
Yeah, that was the first.
coming into this week, I'm gonna start off. I'm gonna give y'all a second to think and breathe on this. I'm gonna go back to the world of football, and I'm gonna say this off season, Stephon Gilmore gets traded and or released from the New England Patriots. Now there were some rumors coming out around the trade deadline that they were open to trading him. And Bill Belichick did something this year that he doesn't do unless you're about to be out. He gave him more money. Bill don't give more money.
Yeah.
But Stephon Gilmore went into that office and said, I believe I deserve a raise. And we all know if Bill Belichick's there next year, that's not something Bill likes to do. So I believe Stephon Gilmore finds himself traded for a second-round pick this offseason, more than likely.
Ooh, second-round pick. Ooh.
I would go as high as a first for him. I think that's what they're going to ask for, but I believe it ends up because he has to get paid and he's in his 30s now. I believe you get him for a second.
Okay.
That's my hot take.
All right.
Scoop.
All right. So my hot take is actually going to be switched. I'm going to baseball, and I'm going to go out on a limb, and say that the Dodgers are going to repeat as World Series champions.
I thought we said hot takes. Scoop.
No,
I thought we said hot takes out here.
That is a hot take. They're not guaranteed to repeat next year.
Scoop. We talking about the LA Dodgers?
Yes, they're not guaranteed
with Mookie Babe Ruth Jr. Betts.
That's why I think they're repeat.
Come on now.
I mean, man, listen.
What you gonna tell me next? Your next hot take gonna be LeBron's gonna dunk in the first game? Come on, man.
That bullpen is not guaranteed to hold up. You know how baseball is. You know how things go.
I'll give you that one. But otherwise, they're solid. They're a solid team. They're in the running.
They're a solid team, but you know your bullpen is it carries you a long way, and you're starting pitching. And so I don't know how much I can rely on that starting pitching to stay healthy for the whole season and stay durable enough for them to go. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm saying I'm going out on a limb because I want to say
it's hard to do.
It's hard to do. And it's hard to repeat. You know what I mean?
I'm playing around with you a little bit.
Sure.
But yeah, it's definitely hard to do. But if any team has that ability to do it in baseball, is that team. That team is set.
I think there are going to be a lot of surprise teams, though, next year. You know what I mean?
Especially because we don't know what money's going to be like.
And that's what I'm saying. We don't know what money's going to be. So I think there are going to be some teams that are going to actually benefit and be able to load up and actually challenge them. You know what I mean? The World Series wasn't a walk in the park for them. You know what I mean? Even though they won in semi-convincing fashion, like they dominated the game in a sense, you know what I mean, where they were in control, but it wasn't just a walk away. It just wasn't a breeze. So I think that those things considered, but I still think they have enough, and I still think they are able to make the right moves to keep that team enough intact with the foundation. Because I was about to blow up the Yankees, to be honest. You know what I mean? Earlier, if I'd have got a chance to do.
We'll get to that next week. We're gonna get to that.
We about to blow some stuff up. So I say that LA repeats as World Series champions, and I'll go out on a limb and say that they sweep. That'll be my hot take.
Wow.
They'll sweep.
Okay.
All right, my go.
Let's go.
I'm gonna switch mine to boxing.
Okay.
So I say within the next year or two, we see Terrence Crawford fight Gervonta Davis.
You really believe it's gonna happen?
That's gonna be tough. It's in the talks. Everybody want to see it.
Now, hold on. I'm gonna make you go out on a limb now. Who wins?
There you go.
That's why they pay me the big bucks. Right there.
Who wins?
Who you got? I'm not gonna let you. I'm not gonna let you stay on the fence and just bring it up. You need to tell me something.
Okay.
And don't be like tweeting or nothing, something crazy, because we got video now.
Terrence Crawford's the better boxer.
Who's winning? Who's winning? I don't want no politically correct stuff. Who wins?
And how?
I got mine.
Come on now.
Go ahead, bro. Hot take.
This hot take.
I'm going with Tank, boy.
Yeah.
I'm going with Tank with the knockout.
With the knockout?
With the knockout?
With the knockout.
Oh, put your money on it now in Vegas. Fight's not even on the board yet. Look, fight don't exist yet, but put your money down. Go find your book.
I'm going with Tank. I'm going with Tank. It's going to last.
Oh, he's giving
rounds too.
9.
10. Round 10. It's going to be a good fight.
That's a tragic round to get knocked out in.
Very tragic.
It's going to be a good fight. And it's going to play out just how Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury played out.
Oh,
I like that. That's a good hot take.
It's going to be a good fight. Crawford going to be winning the whole fight, and then Davis just going to catch him. Because Terrence Crawford never really been hit that hard by somebody like Gervonta Davis.
Gervonta Davis is a monster.
And once he put these on you, it's over on you, man.
I know that.
Yeah.
So I just think Terrence Crawford's the better fighter. He gonna go in there. He gonna play his shell defense. He gonna go out there and take his shots. Gervonta gonna come out, and be aggressive, which he shouldn't at first. But I think he's more powerful, more stronger, and a little bit more physical than Terrence Crawford. And I feel if he land a good, clean shot, I think he's gonna go down for the count.
I like that.
Woo.
I like that. Now, Jalen, I need you to follow that up. What you got? Give me some heat.
So I think this segment has been my favorite segment to just make you mad. So
why not keep that going?
Right? Why not keep it going? Everybody else hit every other league, so I might as well just go to the NBA since everybody else hit everything else. So my hot take is, I think that the Miami Heat will trade for Joel Embiid.
Yeah, well, guys, it was a good show, good episode.
Jimmy Butler, listen, Chad Ochocinco just tweeted out that he talked to Jimmy Butler, and Jimmy Butler.
Hold on, I have an inside source that's telling me that might be Bradley Beal. He was tweeting about.
Could be, or it could be his best friend that's been tweeting all bubble basketball at him. I'm just saying.
Listen to me. Don't you? First off, you just went against last week's hot take. You're doing this just to make me mad. You're just doing this to make me mad. Okay. Now I'm taking it personal. No. We're friends, but this don't seem friendly no more. First off, you gonna jinx my Sixers last week. Now you're trading Joel Embiid. What did I do to you? Outside of this, I must have said something you didn't like.
You can trade JoJo and still win the chip. You got Doc. Like, I'm just saying.
I agree with that. I think you can still win a chip without Joel.
Y'all, so we did crack before the segment. Nobody told me we paused and did some crack.
You know how I feel about Joel Embiid, so.
I'm sorry. We did crack. I didn't know. I didn't know that's what we did on this show. I thought we were a separate show. So.
I promise you, I'll start giving you non-Sixer related hot takes.
First off, I need that. Secondly, I need y'all to say no to drugs because both of y'all just said the Sixers can win a championship next year without Joel Embiid. So I need y'all to say no.
No way.
No way.
You don't think they can win without Joel? Why not? Why can't they win without Joel?
Because there's nothing you're going to get back in a trade for Joel that matches the production of Joel Embiid. He's top 3 in the league in free throws made. He's the best two-way center in the league. You heard what I said.
He's the best player on their team.
Listen.
Two-way center. Two-way center. Scoob, don't make me get mad now. Two-way center. He's by far better.
Bro, this is where I put the angry emoji over his face, and that's going to be a thumbnail later on. That's why I love it. That's why I love it.
Listen.
You make a great thumbnail.
Great episode. Okay.
Hey.
No, for real though.
Prefer to not leave angry one of these weeks, Jalen, so we can work on that after. But for real, I want to first off thank our guests for having us. his story of success. All I heard was straight success in that story.
Appreciate y'all.
First, thank him. I want to thank y'all for just, man, I love talking sports. I love it. I like when we get to go a little deep dive into it and get the fans a perspective to let them know we're not just some regular degglers out here talking dumb. You know, I want them to know we know what we're talking about. You know, so I really like how we took a deep dive into the world of football this week. You know, and I'm excited for where this thing is going. Y'all stay with us on this journey. All right, we're gonna be up.
Yeah, bro, come back anytime you want, brother.
Anytime, bro.
Hey,
Doors open.
whenever y'all send an invite, man, I'll gladly get on.
Thank you. It's been a blessing with having you on here, brother. Appreciate
Anytime.
you.
Anytime.
If all hearts and minds are clear, I think we're good to go.
We should adjourn. I'm with it. We out.